Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're looking at a completely game-changing shift in how we approach parenting, specifically when it comes to raising kids with ADHD. We're diving into some incredibly empathetic insights straight from a child psychiatrist. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone fascinated by child development, this is absolutely crucial stuff. We're totally stepping away from that tired, old narrative of frustration and behavioral management. Instead, we're going to explore a mindset that's warm, completely non-judgmental, and hyper-focused on protecting the core, beautiful identity of the child.
Right off the bat, let's hit this beautiful reality. Children with ADHD are naturally very bright and carefree. It's such a simple sentence, right? But wow, it just completely reframes the entire conversation. Because so often when society talks about ADHD, the focus immediately zeroes in on the deficits, the challenges, the disruptions. But the psychiatrist here points us right back to this foundational truth. This is their true nature. They have this bright, completely unburdened, open way of interacting with the world. Validating that innate spark right from the jump, that is literally the foundation for everything we're going to unpack today.
So let's jump into Section 1, the natural brightness of ADHD.
But we do have to acknowledge a pretty stark contrast here. On one side, we have that gorgeous reality we just talked about, the natural brightness, the carefree nature, the child's true, uninhibited self. But on the flip side lies a really heartbreaking possibility, the loss of those unique traits. The insights we're looking at warn us that this carefree nature is actually pretty fragile. It's like a delicate little plant. It definitely isn't guaranteed to survive intact if the environment around the child is constantly working against it.
Which brings us to Section 2, the negative impact of scolding.
Okay, let's think about the real, day-to-day reality in so many households. The daily warnings, you know the ones. Do it properly. You didn't do it right. If you're a caregiver, let's be honest, those phrases probably sound a little too familiar. They kind of become the background noise of busy, chaotic mornings and stressful evenings. And look, it is so absolutely vital to note that parents aren't saying these things out of malice. Not at all. They're saying them out of pure exhaustion and this really deep, genuine desire for their kid to succeed and just fit in. At the end of the day, parents just want their kids to be okay.
But here's the rub. The crucial point is what actually happens as a result of that constant repetition. Those daily warnings, that endless stream of verbal corrections, are the exact mechanism that dulls the child's innate energy. The psychiatrist points out that by constantly being told, do it properly, or you aren't doing it right, the child actually begins to lose those natural, unique traits. The very things that make them so bright and carefree are just chipped away by the friction of constant behavioral correction. So, the parent is genuinely trying to help them navigate the world, but the unintended consequence, it's the suppression of the child's true self.
So that brings us to a massive, crucial question. How in the world do we protect this brightness while still supporting their growth? Because obviously, kids still need to learn boundaries, right? They need to develop life skills. We can't just throw behavioral development out the window. So we totally understand the problem. Now, let's pivot and look at the psychiatrist's recommended solution.
Moving right into Section 3, lower expectations and watch over. All right, here's the absolute key to that protective strategy. And honestly, it might sound just a little bit counterintuitive at first. It's lowering parental expectations. Now hold on, it is incredibly important that we get exactly what this means in this context. Lowering expectations is absolutely not about giving up on your kid. No way. It's not about assuming they can't achieve great things. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a highly intentional protective shield. By lowering those immediate day-to-day expectations, the nitpicky ones that make you constantly say, do it properly, you completely relieve the pressure. You remove that daily friction. You are actively choosing to prioritize the child's mental well-being and their natural bright energy over rigid, everyday compliance.
Let's break this whole thing down into 3 super clear, actionable steps you can actually use. Step 1, recognize their bright nature. It all starts by just seeing the child for who they truly are, carefree, bright, and bursting with this unique potential. You've got to keep that image front and center in your mind. Step 2, catch yourself before the everyday scolding. When you feel that urge bubbling up to say you didn't do it right for like the 5th time before breakfast, just pause, take a breath, recognize that this is the exact mechanism that dulls their spark. And finally, step 3, lower parental expectations. Just consciously adjust what you're demanding of them in that specific heated moment. Choose to watch over them with warmth instead of trying to micromanage them with criticism. Honestly, practicing these 3 simple steps every day can be an absolute game changer for a child's life.
As we wrap up today's Explainer, I want to leave you with this one final, really provocative thought to chew on.
Ask yourself, are your current expectations nurturing their natural brightness or dimming it? It's a gentle, empathetic challenge for every single one of us to just take a step back and reflect on our own daily habits. Look, we all want the absolute best for the kids in our lives, for sure. But sometimes, the most loving, powerful thing we can possibly do is just step back, lower the pressure cooker, and simply let their natural, brilliant light shine through. Thanks so much for joining me as we unpack these amazing insights today. Keep observing, keep adapting, and above all, keep nurturing that beautiful brightness.